Oh, Greezy got him a sponsor today. They don't know what they's getting into when they let old Greezy on the team. Look at here. Team Second Skin. More to come. Y'all stay tuned. Love you. Bless you. God bless you. America. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video from Greezyz Gurage. Today we're going to talk about a company called Second Skin. It's a noise and heat insulation company that you can put down in your cars, and so I'm putting it down in the Model A, the Greezy Mobile here. So if you've never ridden in a Model A, you know that there's rattles. There's just, I mean, it's just loud. The whole car is just loud. You can put the carpet down and that kind of stuff, and that stuff helps. But we're going to put this stuff down here because my wife and I are taking this car on the Hot Rod Power Tour, and that means we're leaving South Carolina to Memphis, Tennessee, and then driving from Memphis to Nashville, Nashville to Huntsville, Huntsville to Pensacola, Pensacola to Georgia, and then from Georgia back to South Carolina. So that's a 2,000-mile round trip. My wife said she would go with me if I put air conditioning in it. So I've got a flathead V8 motor in a 1930 Model A with air conditioning. And this stuff right here is going to help keep us cool and keep us quiet. I've got the exhaust headers right here at the front doors, and so we're hoping to keep some of down this noise. So this stuff is just amazing. I've already laid one piece down. I wanted to see what it was like. So the first thing that you need to do is take some denatured alcohol and go everywhere you're going to put it down and wipe it down, degrease that, get all your dirt and your dust and debris and stuff up. When you get that up, you can, or when you get that cleaned up, then you can, I took all the pieces and I laid them out how I wanted to, and I'll include a photo right here of that when I laid them out to see which direction I wanted to go. The instructions say you can cover this from 20% to 100%. You know, obviously the 100% is going to be the most effective. I have enough panels here with this kit here. I think this covers 30 square feet is what they sent me. So I'm going to be able to do the whole floor, and if in a Model A, even though this is a modified kind of a Model A, it's still a pretty flat floor. So I'll be able to lay this all in here. They sent the roller to use it with. I would say if you're trying to lay this down already with the very first panel that I've laid down and you don't have a roller, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And I've already learned a little trick to use for the other end of the roller. I got a little tight spot here I couldn't get the roller under, and I take this in there and I rolled it on this end. So already a multi-use tool. So clean it, lay your panels down, roll all the air bubbles out. The air bubbles is what will decrease the sound insulation on this. That will that's what they say in the instructions here, that air bubbles decreases your effectiveness. There you go. So I've included that picture there for you. You can see I've already kind of laid the panels out. I'm going to lay them in behind all the doors and all the windows and the back panels. I'm going to lay it everywhere that I can actually get it here and up on the toe board. You know, also the wiring and everything that's going to get tucked up, and I'm going to try to get as far up and under that dash as I can after I get that wiring tucked up there. And so I will start laying some panels, and I'll just turn the camera on and I'll show you how to do this. So here's the instructions. You'll see here it says, you know, obviously remove your upholstery, clean it, as I said. Right now these panels I don't have to cut, but they say to use a utility knife for smaller surfaces, measurements to cut to fit. And then they obviously want you to peel off the paper liner. There's a paper liner that comes on the back of these things. You just peel that off. And so I'm going to overlap these a little bit because I do have enough room here to lay these, so I'm going to overlap just a little bit to make sure that I get the complete coverage. They say coverage area 25% minimum, 60% is recommended, and then you can go to 100%. I've got enough. They recommend that you wear gloves because it does have a foil edge on it up here, and they can get sharp, so I'm just going to be careful with that. I don't have my gloves with me, so It says, when working with a large piece of material, peel back a small portion of the backing and slowly work your way across the panel using your hands. Okay, so let me move this out of the way so I can get in there a little bit. And I will peel back a small portion here. We'll get it laid in where we want it. Like I said, I am going to do some overlapping a little bit. And I want to go right up next to that edge. Okay. And then I'm going to work that. Oh, that works well. Ooh, look at that. That's a whole lot less air bubbles. Helps when you read the instructions, right? So I didn't really get a lot of air bubbles in this up here, but that really did make that easy. And then I found this round edge here to be really good to kind of go down this edge right here and then roll it. And it just lays down so perfect. It's just, it's like it molds. And then, so there's a bolt right here that I've used. There's a couple bolts that I used, obviously, to put it in the floor. You can just go around that bolt and it'll just form right to it. It just lays right down along the edges. So there's not a lot of air bubbles in this one. Of course, I had a lot more bolts back here for that one there. But we'll give it a good roll anyway, just to be certain. Man, that is nice. You can already hear the difference in this floor. This floor was a panel that I'd put in. Obviously, if you don't know, Model A's come with wooden floors. I replaced it with metal. It's because I was bolting seats down through it and I wanted something a little bit more sturdy. That's already. Let's compare that later. But I can listen to that. It's already better right there. So, all right, let's lay our second piece down here. This one is going to get a little bit trickier because we do have a emergency brake handle in the way. So we're going to have to cut that out. Let me grab a utility knife real quick. Okay, I have a utility knife here, so I'm going to lay this kind of out where I want it. Let's see, we're going to overlap here just a little bit. And it looks to be pretty simple. Let's see how... That's easy to cut. Okay. If you're not seeing this, it's pretty easy to cut. You just grab your utility knife and it seems to just cut right along. You can definitely tell there's some of that foil in there. And so I scored this one. And let's get it to lay in there. Might need to take a little bit more off here. All right. Well, there you have it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All right, let's move this out of the way. And we'll lay this piece down here and then I'll cut you off and then I'll finish it up and I'll show you how it looks. Let me work my way from this end this time until I got... like that. Oh, beautiful. It is hot today. You can see I'm sweating all over everything. I will say where you cut it, it wrinkles up just a little bit, so next time I cut it, I'll know to be a little bit more careful with that. Now, Second Skin did sponsor this and me, but sponsor or no sponsor, it's the first time you're using it, so I will give the honest opinion. But I have tried a lot of other sound deadening products, from the cheapest to the most expensive that I can find, and I can tell you the ease of installation of this one compared to some of the others that I have done is already tenfold. I will have this car done today, and I have used before others where you had to spray glue and things like that. You wasn't going to get that done in a day unless you just really worked and worked and worked and worked all day humping it. So, a few little air bubbles right there. I like to get around these bolts really good because they said air bubbles does affect, so we'll try to keep that as good. And there you have it. I'll go in here and cut that out. And looks like a perfect little piece to fit right in there. So let's see if we can get that to go. Here we go. That worked out well. All right, so listen. Remember how that was rattling up there? Now listen. So anyway, still on, yeah. So I will get the rest of this lined up, and then I'll cut you back on, and I'll show you some of the end products. All right, I got the Second Skin laid down in the whole floor of the Model A. I put a panel in each of the doors. I had one full panel left when I got finished, so I put a half a panel in each side of the back glass. So my impressions was, I don't know why I wasn't using this years ago. I have done it the cheap way. I've done it, you know, with the contact cement spray, trying to put it down that way. I'll never do another one that way again. This stuff was so easy to put down. They actually offered me the spray and stuff, but I will tell you the reason why I've used this is so that I can cut away, because I did make the floors removable in this car, and my master cylinder sits under the car, so I have a panel over here that I needed to remove out, so I could cut out around that and still have the insulation and not have to worry about, you know, trying to scrape up the spray and stuff. So I put this down. Super easy. Took me all of 15 minutes to put this down. I mean, it was just easy. Now, Model A is a flat floor. I did try to cover 100% of the floor. I didn't get quite one little spot right here, but remember when we first started and I banged on that panel and how loud it was? Listen, it's just dead now. So I'm really hoping that'll cut a lot of that that Model A typical hot rod Model A noise. I mean, these things are rattle cans, and they're just made that way. If you don't know, Model A is built out of wood and metal, and things don't always quite fit together the way they should. So when you're building one of these, you expect that. So I'm pleasantly surprised and pleasantly happy, I guess, with the way this has worked already on this floor, because I made an all metal floor for this. So Second Skin noise and heat insulation. It's OEM approved. So it's you can go to their website. Just go to secondskинaudio.com. It's right there. 1-800-679-8511, 8511. Tell them that Greezyz Gurage sent you. And the only advice I would have for you when you're putting this in, and I'm gonna take you around and show you the final install here. But the only thing that I would say, a piece of advice that I would give you, is putting this in. Two pieces. Actually get the roller. I tried to do it with my hands. It worked. You can, but the roller just makes quick work of it. You just, you roll it out. Your hands, you're kind of getting in there with your palm of your hand trying to push this down, because it is important that the whole panel does contact the floor. It formed easy, but that's the first piece of advice I would say, to get the roller for sure. And the second piece of advice would be to make sure and do wear the gloves like they say. I will say, if I was putting down a full complete panel and didn't have to cut it, no real problems. But in the back in here, you're going to see it. I had to go around curves, and I had to cut and things like that to get it to form around back here. That aluminum gets sharp, and I've got a few cuts to prove it. So I would say definitely you wear the gloves, and don't pay attention to what I said at the beginning about why I didn't have my gloves with me. Go get your gloves. All right, so I ended up going to get my, as a matter of fact, you can see right here, if you can see it in the camera at this angle, I don't know, but there's a little piece of that aluminum sticking up right there that you could get yourself cut on if you was in here on your knees. Next thing for me, I'm going to lay a diamond plate rubber mat down in here. We're not putting carpet in this one, so all this will get covered up, but I'm going to grab the phone and I'm going to show you around the car, and I'll say goodbye to y'all. And I guess the only thing that I don't like and not happy about is, I'm sure Greezy's going to be out here trying to inspect this. He doesn't know I've done this, so I've kind of snuck around his back and put this in, and when he finds out, I'm sure I'm going to pay the price for it eventually, and he's going to tell me all the things that I've done wrong, I'm sure. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate you. What have he done to my car? The seats are out, the gas tank's out. What's going on in here? What's happening? What's all this? Lights? I see the camera's on. Second skin. He been out here working without me. Working on my car without me. Huh. Well, that's pretty neat right there. That's America right there. That's Damplifier, noise, heat, and vibration. Full back mat for automotive sound deadening. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to get that Greezyz silver approval. That's America approved right there. We'll give that the